On a special Christmas evening, Santa found himself grounded longer than usual and got caught up in a troubling incident. Spotting a little girl in danger during a robbery, something inside him changed. His usual jolly self took a back seat as a protective instinct surged within him. Santa transformed into a force to reckon with, determined to thwart the bad guys and ensure everyone's safety. The story unfolds in Bristol, UK, where Santa was unwinding at a bar after a drink. Another person dressed as Santa joined in, teasing if he had just finished work. Santa chuckled, sharing that he was on a break between shifts, but the other Santa joked about the reindeers knowing the way while he relaxed in the back. This banter led to laughter from the bartender and the two Santas. However, the mood turned serious as Santa expressed concerns about children becoming more focused on receiving gifts than the true spirit of Christmas. Feeling disheartened, he stood up, excusing himself to the rooftop before departing. In a moment of mystery, Santa surprises the bartender with a gift for her grandson, leaving her both touched and puzzled by how he knew the details. Curiosity piqued, she hurries after him to point out his exit mistake, only to find the rooftop empty. Looking up, she's astonished to witness Santa departing on his sleigh, but her surprise is abruptly interrupted when Santa accidentally spills something on her from above. The scene shifts to Greenwich, Connecticut, where Jason eagerly awaits his estranged wife, Linda, for a trip to his mother's estate. Upon Linda's arrival with their daughter, Trudy, Jason warmly greets them, expressing gratitude for Linda accompanying him. The trio reaches Jason's mother's grand house, greeted by the gatekeeper, who allows them entry. Inside, the mansion bustles with Christmas preparations, everyone engrossed in getting everything ready for the festive day. Later that evening, Jason, Linda, and Trudy head to the living room, where they're warmly welcomed by Jason's sister, Alva, her son Brett, and her boyfriend. As they hear their mother approaching, Alva rushes to greet her, noticing Jason's absence and questioning his plans. Her boyfriend jests about Jason plotting something, drawing attention to where Jason and Linda quietly stand at the back of the room. After a delightful dinner, everyone retires to their rooms. Jason and Linda tuck Trudy into bed, where she reveals her disappointment about missing the chance to visit Santa at the mall to share her Christmas wish. Feeling remorseful, Jason promises Trudy an early Christmas surprise. He hands her a walkie-talkie, suggesting she use it to communicate her wish directly to Santa. Once outside Trudy's room, they overhear her speaking into the walkie-talkie, confessing her heartfelt desire for her parents to reunite as her ultimate Christmas gift. Oh no, things take a dark turn. Santa, in his tipsy state, arrives at the Lightstone estate and discovers the cookies left for him by Trudy. Seeking some relaxation, he grabs a bottle of alcohol and settles into a massage chair. Simultaneously, a chilling scene unfolds. One of the estate's bodyguards betrays his duty, knocking out a fellow guard in the security room. He signals his partners in crime, initiating their ominous plan. Meanwhile, Mr. Scrooge arrives at the estate under false pretenses, claiming a tire issue to gain entry. Shockingly, he turns on the gatekeeper, ending his life with a gunshot. As chaos erupts, Scrooge's mercenaries launch a ruthless attack, eliminating guards and staff members. Amidst the turmoil, Jason's mother is whisked away to a panic room by her bodyguard. However, Scrooge barges in, taking her guards down and seizing control, holding Bert, Alva, her boyfriend, and her mother hostage in a terrifying turn of events. Amidst the tension between Linda and Jason, an argument ensues. Linda accuses Jason of neglecting their daughter, highlighting interference from his mother. Attempting to mend things, Jason reassures Linda of his commitment to fixing their relationship, expressing his willingness to walk away from the Lightstone Wealth and Company. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the sound of gunfire outside. Simultaneously, Santa, trying to escape the room, struggles due to the effects of his drunken state. His attempt to teleport through the chimney fails as the Lightstone family gathers in the living room. In the midst of the chaos, Santa encounters a mercenary, sparking a fierce struggle. Despite his inebriated state, Santa manages to overpower the intruder, throwing him out of a window. Meanwhile, Jason's mother reveals to Mr. Scrooge that she has a secret extraction team en route, but he claims knowledge of their arrival time. To add another layer of complexity, she informs Scrooge of a vault with $30 million, asserting that he won't be able to steal it since the vault is impenetrable. In a tense turn of events, Mr. Scrooge reveals his knowledge of a button that triggers automatic locks for the vault. Seizing control, he commandeers the remote and directs his team of mercenaries to attempt a hack into the vault's security system. Meanwhile, one of Scrooge's men alerts him about a missing accomplice, prompting a search throughout the house for potential escapees. Amid the chaos, Santa, having entered through the back door, attempts to contact the police, but finds all phone lines severed by the mercenaries. Hearing approaching footsteps, he hastily searches through his sack for something useful. As a mercenary enters the room, Santa carefully assesses the situation, eventually finding a doll in his sack. With quick thinking, Santa stealthily maneuvers behind the mercenary and delivers a decisive blow, incapacitating him. In a gripping struggle, the situation intensifies as the mercenary pulls out a knife after losing his gun. Santa, resourceful as ever, retrieves a hockey stick from his sack and engages in a fierce confrontation. Despite initial setbacks, Santa fights back, ultimately overpowering the mercenary and prevailing in the altercation. Meanwhile, in the living room, Linda attends to Trudy, who communicates with Santa through the walkie-talkie. Santa, having acquired a walkie-talkie from the fallen mercenary, responds to Trudy's call for help. Assuring her of his assistance, Santa heads to the gatekeeper's hut, only to discover that the phones remain out of service. In the midst of the chaos, Mr. Scrooge, unaware of the unfolding events, calls out for the mercenary. Santa, picking up the mercenary's walkie-talkie, responds to Scrooge, revealing the mercenary's demise. With a warning laden with frustration, Santa cautions Mr. Scrooge against further involvement with the family. The tension escalates as Mr. Scrooge confronts Jason's mother, accusing her of hiring the Santa Claus figure. Despite her denial, Scrooge resorts to brutal measures, using a nutcracker to harm Jason and threatening further torture if he doesn't get the answers he seeks. Trudy, fearing for her father's safety, tries to intervene, warning Scrooge of Santa's potential retaliation. Linda attempts to clarify that Trudy's claims of communicating with Santa are just pretend, but Trudy insists on the reality of her conversations. Overwhelmed and afraid, Jason, in an attempt to protect his daughter, dismisses the existence of Santa Claus. Heartbroken by her father's denial, Trudy rushes away, seeking refuge in the attic. Meanwhile, Santa, in a vulnerable state after stitching his wounds, passes out and experiences a vivid vision of himself as a warrior. Startled awake by Trudy's voice over the walkie-talkie, he reassures her of his identity as Santa, but admits his limitations. He confesses that, despite being the real Santa, his powers have constraints, preventing him from fulfilling Trudy's fervent wish of reuniting her parents. In the room where the family gathered, everyone was asked to open their Christmas gifts. When it was Jason's turn, he pretended to forget, but Bert helped by finding the present and handing it to Jason's mother. As she opened it, she found a note that made her upset, but she didn't share what it said with anyone. At the same time, Trudy started asking Santa about his past. He explained that in his previous life, he was a warrior who used a special hammer to harm others, and it made him feel good. He thought he might have been on Santa's naughty list back then. Trudy, however, believed in the good things Santa was doing now, and told him she didn't think he was a bad person anymore. Santa, wanting to protect Trudy and the family, told her to stay hidden while he took care of the mercenaries, promising to make sure they wouldn't cause harm anymore. While Mr. Scrooge shares news with his allies about the extraction team going elsewhere, Santa attempts to sneak up on a mercenary. However, a toy accidentally goes off, alerting her to his presence. Santa tries to hide in a room, but Mr. Scrooge forcefully breaks down the door and captures him. Even though Santa's sack looks empty, gifts keep appearing from it. Mr. Scrooge decides to burn the sack in the fireplace. Mr. Scrooge, skeptical of Santa's identity, recounts a dark incident from his childhood when he, at the age of 10, sneaked into a neighbor's house to steal gifts. The neighbor's grandpa was frightened and fell down the stairs, resulting in his death. Santa explains that he doesn't interfere in people's lives and only delivers presents, which is why he didn't intervene that day. Trudy comes up with a clever distraction, pouring styrofoam balls into the vent, diverting the mercenary's attention. Seizing the opportunity, Santa teleports to the roof by tapping his nose. There, he discovers that the extraction team has arrived and, upon checking his list, confirms that the names of those involved are on the naughty list. Amidst the chaos, Santa realizes the extraction team is allied with Mr. Scrooge, and they start shooting at him. In a daring escape, he finds refuge in a warehouse, feeling disheartened. However, Trudy's encouraging words about finding his own Christmas miracle uplift his spirits. Spotting his hidden hammer, Santa takes action, attacking the extraction team and overpowering most of them. Meanwhile, Mr. Scrooge, driven by greed, opens the vault only to discover it's empty. Enraged, he confronts the Lightstone family, demanding answers about the missing money. Jason confesses, admitting he stole the money with the intent of escaping his mother's influence and reuniting his family. In the attic, Trudy faces danger as the mercenaries close in. Drawing inspiration from the movie Home Alone, she sets up traps, managing to incapacitate both of them. In another part of the house, Linda, Bert, and Alva collaborate, successfully neutralizing another mercenary. Santa and Trudy rush outside to rescue Jason. who has been taken by the extraction team in search of money. A big fight ensues, and with Linda and Santa's teamwork, they manage to defeat most of the extraction team. Santa then pursues Mr. Scrooge, leading to a final confrontation. Their intense battle takes them to the top of a chimney, and the struggle results in Mr. Scrooge's demise. Santa, severely injured, also succumbs. Trudy, seeing Santa in trouble, urges everyone to believe in Santa's existence, hoping it will bring him back. As people acknowledge Santa, a magical revival occurs, and Santa wakes up. The movie concludes with Santa's reindeer arriving, carrying a new sack as a gift from his wife on the sled, bringing a heartwarming end to the story. Thanks for watching, guys.